Your hostas looked perfect in spring. Now, in July, they're falling apart. Brown edges, holes in the leaves, yellowing from the base, and strange streaks running between the veins. And here's the part that stings. The things you're doing to save them are quietly making it worse. More water. More fertilizer. Snipping off the damaged leaves. Wrong. Every one of those, for at least one of these problems. And one of these symptoms, if you treat it wrong, spreads to every hosta you own before the summer is over. July isn't about pushing growth. It's about protection. So let me walk you through exactly what to do and what to stop. But first, one quick thing. It decides how much of this actually applies to you. Drop 2 things in the comments right now. Your US state or USDA zone, and the one symptom you're seeing most. Brown tips, holes, yellowing, or streaks. Here's why it's worth it. Care in Zone 4, Minnesota is nothing like Zone 8, Georgia. So tell me your zone and your symptom, and I'll reply with exactly which problem you're fighting. I read every comment. Type it now. And stay with me, because the last one on this list is the one that spreads through your whole garden. All right, let's start with number 1, where every hosta problem either begins or ends. The water. Here's the problem. Hosta roots are fleshy, and they drink from deep down. Not from a quick daily sprinkle that wets the top inch and burns off by noon. In July heat, that surface water is gone in hours, and the roots never get a drink. The result? Brown tips, afternoon wilting, a plant that gives up by August. So here's the fix. 1 inch of water a week in 2 deep soaks. Under trees, under roof overhangs, in containers. Those dry out fastest, so give them more. And don't trust the surface. Push a finger 3 to 4 inches down, and if it's dry there, your hosta is already stressed, even if the top looks fine. But here's the part most people get wrong. Never water the leaves at night. Wet leaves after dark are 2 things at once. A slug buffet and a highway for disease. Aim at the soil in the morning, every time. Now, water is only half the battle, which is number 2, because even a perfectly watered hosta will scorch in the wrong light, and that's the one thing almost nobody checks. Here's what fools everyone. The number 1 hosta symptom in July isn't pests or disease. It's sun scorch, bleached, papery patches on the leaves. People see it, panic, and water more because it looks like thirst. It isn't. And here's the trap. The shade your hosta had in May is not the shade it has in July. The sun climbs higher, the angle shifts, and a spot that got soft morning light in spring is getting blasted at 2 p.m. now. Nothing in your garden moved. The sun did. Blue hostas suffer worst. That waxy blue coating burns right off in direct sun and won't return until next year's leaves. So do this. Watch your hostas between noon and 4 p.m. That window alone decides whether a spot works. Scorched tissue never heals, but fix the light and the new leaves come in clean. Once the light is right, number 3 is sitting right on the ground. Your next layer of protection, probably worn out. That spring mulch has compressed and broken down, and your roots need it back. 2 to 4 inches of bark, shredded leaves, or pine needles cools the root zone, locks in moisture, and steadies the soil through the hottest weeks. But here's the mistake that quietly kills plants. Mulch shoved up against the crown, where the stems rise out of the soil, traps heat and moisture, and that's exactly how crown rot begins. And crown rot works in silence, underground, until the whole plant collapses in late summer with no warning. So pull the mulch back and leave a 2 to 3 inch gap around the crown, open to the air. Mulch everywhere else, just never against the base. And real quick, if this has already saved you a plant, hit like and subscribe. That's how it reaches the next gardener about to lose one. 1 tap, and let's keep going, because that cool, damp mulch you just fixed is the perfect daytime hideout for number 4. If you're seeing ragged, irregular holes, not clean cuts, but chewed-looking gaps, that's slugs, and they do it at night while you sleep. By day, they hide under leaves, pot rims, and rocks, so you never catch them in the act. Here's the fix, and it costs nothing. 1 hour after sunset, walk out with a flashlight. They'll be right there, feeding. Pick them off, drop them in soapy water, and do it 3 nights running. You'll wipe out most of the local population at its most exposed moment. Then back it up. Stop the evening watering, clear away the boards and debris they hide beneath, and open up the airflow around the crowns. Now, while you're down there with that flashlight, you'll notice the flowers are fading, and that's number 5. Here's the trade-off first. While those flowers are open, hummingbirds and bees work them hard, so if wildlife is part of your goal, let them finish the bloom. But once they're done, the math flips. A spent stalk left standing pours the plant's energy into making seed, energy that should be building the crown for next spring instead. So the moment the last flower fades, cut the stalk clean at the base, no stub, 30 seconds a plant, and that energy goes back where it belongs. And here's the kicker. Those seeds rarely grow true to the parent anyway, and they scatter where you never wanted hostas, so you lose nothing by cutting. And speaking of where the plant's energy goes, number 6 is where most gardeners accidentally sabotage the whole season. Here's the truth nobody says out loud. Established hostas in decent soil simply don't need fertilizer. They aren't heavy feeders, and a little compost does the whole job. But if you have been feeding them, July is the hard stop. Here's why it's dangerous. Late nitrogen forces soft new growth exactly when the plant should be winding down for dormancy, and that tender growth won't harden off before frost. In zones 4 through 6, where frost can hit in September, that's cold damage you caused yourself. The only exception, container hostas can take one light, balanced feeding in early July, then nothing for the rest of the season. Which brings us to number 7, the last one, and the most important, because every fix I've given you depends on getting this right first. Before you treat anything, be sure what you're looking at, because the wrong treatment makes the real problem worse. Slug damage is ragged holes, maybe a slime trail, showing up overnight. Sun scorch is bleached, dry patches on the sun-hit parts of the leaf, with no holes. But now, here are the two that scare me. Foliar nematodes show up as yellow to brown streaks running in straight lines between the veins. See that pattern? Do not compost those leaves. Bag them for the trash, switch to soil-only watering, and clean every tool you use. And Hosta virus X is a mottled, ink bleed color smeared around the veins with puckered, twisted leaves. There's no cure. Pull the entire plant, put it in the trash, never the compost, and disinfect any blade that touched it. Neither of these fixes itself, and neither gets better if you look away. Identify it first, then act. That's your July. Protect them now, and they come back strongest next spring. So go check your hostas tonight, flashlight in hand, and drop your zone and symptom below. I'll be reading.